Thank you very much. It's indeed an honor to be here. Before I begin my formal remarks, I do want to add to what has just been said in recognizing a law enforcement professional who did give his life last month to save his partner. Though his name will not be added to the wall today, I think all of us feel a great sense of sadness and also a great degree of gratitude to Mick, the German Shepherd who is with the Portland Police Bureau K-9 unit, who was shot and killed last month and who certainly saved the life of his partner, 16-year veteran Jeff Dorn. Each year in this month, Americans across this nation gather to honor Law Enforcement Memorial Week, which in my view is a small, although insufficient, way to say thank you to the men and women who, in choosing to commit their lives to public safety, ultimately gave those very lives in service to the larger community. Here, our fallen memorial stands at the doors of our Public Safety Academy and serves as a daily reminder of the sacrifices made by law enforcement officers across our state. In the year 2000, in my second term, I worked with the Oregon Association of Chiefs of Police, the Sheriff's Association, the Oregon State Police, Department of Corrections, along with law enforcement labor representatives and legislators to authorize the construction of this facility. And I wholeheartedly believe that the men and women whose names are on this memorial would feel very proud to see this facility, which is dedicated to training public safety professionals throughout the state of Oregon, and hopefully providing training that will, in the future, save the lives of these same law enforcement professionals. As we gather here today to recognize the people who gave their lives in service to Oregonians, let us also take this opportunity to honor the families of those who have fallen. The men and women, Oregonians who exhibit grace and strength in living their lives in memory of and a commitment to the husbands and wives and friends and neighbors and sons and daughters that they have lost. And lastly, we gather here to make a solemn promise that we will never forget those who gave their lives in service to make the larger community safer for us all. There are over 160 names on this wall, etched in stone as a permanent reminder of the price paid by these law enforcement officers, dating back to the 1880s. Today we add two names to this wall, one from almost a century ago, and one, tragically, from a more recent history. First, we honor the memory of Deputy Charles H. Bashi, who was a deputy with the Jackson County Sheriff's Office, and who was murdered on June 12, 1917, by an inmate who had escaped from the county jail. The details of his death were unknown for years, and now, almost 100 years later, we are honoring him by engraving his name in the wall. We now turn our attention to a more recent loss. The tragic death of Oregon City Police Officer Robert Lipke, who suffered a mortal injury in the line of duty last November. On November 3rd, Officer Lipke was dispatched along with the Clackamas County Fire District No. 1 and a unit of the Oregon City Police Department to the report of a house fire. And an armed male was reported to be at the scene. And Officer Lipke went to address the individual, and shots were fired from the house, and he was struck. He was transported to Emmanuel Hospital, where he died of his injuries on November 4th, 2013. The neighbors of the offender will tell you that his actions saved their lives that day. And there's no doubt that they did. I think this young officer is an incredible example of what law enforcement professionals strive for, and that is selflessness. Putting their own lives in harm's way for total strangers. And here's one more fact that I think speaks deeply to the character of Officer Lipke. He was a reserve police officer. He was a volunteer, a sworn, unpaid officer who'd been with the Oregon City Police Department since 2009. And for him and for law enforcement officers, I believe, around this state, service came from a deep commitment to his community, to his state, and to his country. He was only 41 years old. He's survived by his wife, Wendy, and by his daughter, Zeba Nicole Lipke, who he never met, who was born just this last February. So, Wendy, our hearts go out to you for your loss, and we're grateful that you're with us today. In recognition of this loss to his family and in his honor, the legislature in February of 2014 passed, and I signed into law, House Bill 4120, that allows children of reserve officers and volunteer firefighters to have the same access to scholarships as children of paid public service officers. So let me just say, in closing, and on behalf, I believe, of all Oregonians, I want to thank all of the active duty officers who are here today and their families, and the families of those officers who are not here with us today, in honoring the memory of those we have lost. Your state owes you a deep debt of gratitude. I want to thank you for all you do to keep us safe, and please keep yourself safe.